Welcome to this video, which officially launches a new series on the channel that many of you have requested. Fishing with subscribers. Here, I drove 5 hours to get here to meet Joffrey, who bought an extraordinary body of water just behind him. And this body of water has a story. Apparently, there are some gigantic catfish in it, but for now, that's all I know. We're about to head out. We're meeting him to hear his story and learn about this body of water. I might even break my catfish record and catch my first 2-meter one. And if you're in the same situation as Joffrey, if you have a wonderful place you'd like to share, don't hesitate to contact me at the email address shown right here and also in the description below the video, if you want us to work on a project together. And here we go with this first video that kicks off the series. Thank you. Thanks for watching. It's huge. I was 60.
You might see them at the last moment.
Hi, Joffrey.
Hi.
I'm doing very well. Thank you for inviting me to your pond for this little video. What I really like to do is talk with the owner to learn a bit about the history of the place. What you told me is that you bought this place not very long ago.
Yeah, it's been 2 years, yeah. It's a body of water that was a bit abandoned. It's a body of water that was created in the 80s. For a bit of history, when you see that embankment there was even an opening that led to the Garonne River, yes?
Because the Garonne River passes right there.
Exactly, yeah. When they started the excavation, they dug with machines, then they broke through the water tables, the water came up and they had to use dredges. And so there was a time when I know the embankment separating it from the Garonne was no longer there, so it created a backwater connected to the Garonne. And at the end of the excavation, they closed it up, and so they created the enclosed body of water that we have today. So now it's this beautiful body of water that you see. It's kind of a family story. We've been maintaining, dredging and creating ponds for 3 generations. So I knew that I wanted to buy a lake someday, so at first I was more set on buying a small pond. And then it's true that I saw this pond for sale 3 years ago now, just 5 minutes from my house. And I told myself, you can't miss this, you just can't miss it. Ponds like this, they're rarely for sale, yeah.
Because the pond is beautiful.
Yeah, it's an exceptional pond. So what's its surface area? The estate is 25 hectares and there are 17 hectares of water.
Yeah, so it's almost all water, right? Yeah, you've got...
Actually, you've got paths on the sides so you can get around. Here you've got a few hectares scattered here and there along the edges, but yes, there's a lot of water. Yeah, on the 25 hectares and regarding species.
In terms of species, well,
we have pretty much all kinds of carp, and as for predatory fish, we're lucky to have, well, the 5 predatory fish you can catch here. So do you have catfish? Yeah, that's what I was looking for too. Catfish, black bass, you have perch, pike and zander. When it was open, it was really an isolated pocket. Even from the beginning, when they started digging the quarry, when you dig a quarry, it's a place that's pretty neutral, at first. Since they made this opening, the fish in the Garonne ended up in a sheltered pocket, because the Garonne always has a current that changes with the tides. They find themselves in a pocket like that where, well, there's food being created, some areas to rest, so the fish would come in. Then when you close the place, of course, it leaves fish that stay behind.
So there are fish that have been there for a very long time that come from the Garonne. Can you imagine?
It started being dug in the early 80s and they closed the dike at the end of the 80s, maybe in 89 or 90. So fish have been coming in and growing there for a really long time. So, yeah. Qui est rentré et qui se développe, donc... You can have specimens that are over 2 meters. We've had ones over 2.5 meters. A year before I bought it, there's a guy here who helps us out, by the way. He caught one that was 2.57 meters. So those are some pretty impressive fish.
2.57 meters, that's huge. Yeah, that's some...
That can make for some great fights, yeah.
Thank you. And from what I understand, there's also a pretty incredible guy who's going to come meet us.
That's it. The big advantage of this lake is that, well, this year is a bit unusual, but we have water that's still pretty clear, which allows us to get some beautiful shots. And when I started out and began sharing some of the videos, I had a somewhat professional diver who's more used to diving with cetaceans contact me and say, hey, I'd like to try some freshwater diving. And he comes here regularly to dive. I suggest you meet him and maybe do a quick dive together to check out the environment before fishing. It could be interesting.
And it's about getting in contact with those famous big catfish that are supposed to live inside?
Exactly, that's right. To see a bit of their habitat, see what they live in, try to meet them. Maybe before fishing for them, it could be nice.
Thank you, Joffrey.
Thank you too.
I'll keep you posted about the fishing. Sounds good. Thanks a lot. The exchange with Joffrey is really interesting. But the plan today isn't to go fishing right away or even to meet Hervé, since I'm meeting the professional diver tomorrow. It will be over 2 days, diving tomorrow, then float tube fishing and exploring the lake the next day. And now, for this late afternoon, I spotted this spot right next to Joffrey's lake while driving on this road. Look. There's a kind of small water outlet under the road with something like a wash house filled with water. It was like there was a river in the wash house, and as a fisherman I couldn't resist. I'm going to make a few casts here. Come on, just a few minutes to see if there are fish here. That's fishing. There can always be nice surprises. Phew, that's incredible. So there are 2, maybe even 3 spots to fish. There's the wash house. It's actually pretty deep and I can see weeds inside. It's like there's a river that goes under the road and, well, runs through the wash house with a pretty old lock system. Right here there's a kind of pool. The water is also super clear and it's open, so the fish can pass through. And what's really interesting is that this river flows directly into the Garonne and also passes through Joffrey's pond. So the fish can swim upstream. That's why I brought 2 rods. I have a small rod here to try to catch perch or smaller fish. And I also brought my pike rod just in case. I'll move forward to see. The idea is to make a few casts and check for fish. There, that could be hiding some fish. It's really deep here. There are many weed beds and plenty of algae. I'm going to start in the wash house. I'll make a few short casts and observe. If I don't see any fish, I'll fish directly in the river since I don't see anything in the pool right now. Let's go. There's some depth down there. See, I can't fish under the crane. So, are there any fish? I've already come across this kind of environment before, and I saw in the wash house some small perch and chub and some nice chub, you know. And here typically, this could be a river where there could be chub. For now, I don't see anything. Also, there are quite a lot of algae. I'm going to make 2, maybe 3 small casts, just in case. It would be incredible to catch a fish here. It would be amazing to catch a fish here. Yeah, because there are actually some nice weed beds down there on the bottom. I don't see any signs of life right now. I'm going to make a few casts over there, along the walls. There are quite a lot of algae. There you go. Okay. I'm going to check out the little river in the back and the pool. There's a nice deep hole there. There are many weed beds. There's the spring that comes down here, and it really forms a hollow. Easily a meter 10, a meter 20 deep. I'm going to try fishing a little bit in there with crayfish. There's a nice eel that hunts them right under its nose. I'm not surprised. Eels, they like to swim up like that in the water. It swims up toward the spring. Come on, get into the algae. So, there are still fish here. With these weed beds, it's worth a quick cast for pike here. I'm going to take my pike rod. I'll make 2 or 3 casts. I regret not having my 5-inch Texas rig for the weeds, but I have a small spinner blade on the back. And you never know, with all these weeds, there could very well be a pike posted up there. Since it's connected to the Garonne, well, it's really just a matter of 2 or 3 casts. Afterwards, I'll need to be patient because a 17-hectare plot awaits me. It'll be my first time diving, with a reward that could be exciting. We'll have to explore it, but this time in a float tube. I'm really looking forward to it. All right, I'll make one last cast. A little farther. There we go. I expected there to be more water. Well, it's useless here. It's not worth it, in my opinion. Match. We'll meet again tomorrow for a dive with the catfish. All right, let me introduce Hervé to you. Passionate about diving for decades, he has explored underwater environments all over the world. But what impresses me most about him is his knowledge of this lake. By diving here so often, he has learned to understand the behavior of the fish, and he has already had the chance to get up close to some of the biggest catfish that live here. Let me tell you, if anyone can help us better understand what lies beneath the surface, it's definitely him.
What is fishing? It's not knowing. That's kind of what fishing is.
It's fantasizing about what's beneath our feet, actually.
That's it. It's about searching for the great equation of fishing. Are there any, why doesn't it die? What's going on? Well, there's nothing better than going underwater to
You wanted to find your answers directly to
indulge that fantasy. So I don't know everything, but I know a lot more than when I was fishing.
It helped you learn a lot about fish.
Well, with fish, there's nothing better than seeing them to understand them, right?
And so today we're going to discover a quarry. From what I understand, you're going to introduce me, or at least help me discover, well, freshwater diving. I usually dive in the sea to try to observe catfish up close. And can you tell me more about this quarry then?
I've been diving here for 3 years. I've been able to get to know the ecosystem. The bottom drops to about 10 meters roughly in the middle of the lake. It's quite difficult to go see what's happening at the bottom here because we don't always have the visibility we'd like to have, so it mostly happens along the edge. And we're lucky, catfish are also fish that stay near the edge.
So we might see them in the branches, in the roots?
It often happens in the branches. As soon as spring arrives, the catfish moves closer to the edges with the carp. It's a fish that often lives alongside carp. And they put their heads under the branches, their heads in holes along the edges, sometimes in less than a meter of water. It's a fish that doesn't move around much during the day. I had the chance to dive with him at night. Then it's different, he's hunting. During the day you often find him lying on the bottom. The big ones with the big ones, the small ones with the small ones.
That's really interesting.
With the carp under the branches and big carp with catfish. I've never seen a carp small enough to be eaten next to a catfish. I hope we can see some together.
That would be excellent. So we're going to get ready. Maybe we'll put on the suits. And just before we get ready, I want to point out that Hervé, well, it's his great passion to dive in fresh water, in the sea, and all around the world. He creates huge collections of aquatic images. He does an amazing job. And for those who are interested, you'll find the link directly in the description to his page, to his image collections, if you want to download them. If you ever need them for content creation, well, especially if, like us, you're a creator, let's go.
Hervé, come on, let's go, everyone.
All right, that's it. We're off with Hervé. We've put on our wetsuits, and now we're going to cross the lake to try to find a spot where there are catfish.
We're at my favorite part of the lake where I've had the most encounters. So here, all the way at the back, we're going to park the boat here and go explore this area. So it's an area where there are usually turtles on the branches.
Lots of dead trees, and it's probably a good spot too.
That's right, we have trees lying underwater. We can't see them here. I've often come across catfish under a tree right here. It goes down about 3 or 4 meters and they're lying in the branches.
And question, since this is going to be my first experience diving with catfish, is there a certain attitude I should have? Is there anything that could be dangerous since they're still big animals?
They are absolutely not dangerous.
They are not dangerous.
Nothing bad will happen, nothing harmful. Like all fish, if you want to approach them, you have to be 3 or 4 meters in front of them so they can see you clearly. Wait 30 seconds to a minute, let them get used to you. No sudden movements. The typical behavior of the Wells catfish is to swim in front of us, make a little circle and come back, touch the camera and identify us with its baubles. And then suddenly turn around more quickly to disappear once it understands what we are.
Have you ever come face to face with really big fish here in this lake? Yes.
Yes, there are some.
Could you give a rough estimate of the size?
I'm always cautious because it's...
Complicated to gauge, I imagine.
Yes, the mask makes things look about 30% bigger. So you have to be careful about what you see underwater, but clearly more than 2 meters. About 2 meters, give or take 50 centimeters. I hope we spot some. Everything's here.
Can you show us what you usually film with, whether it's for today or across all your trips?
Me, I only work with action cams because they're lighter. And especially in cluttered spots like this, you can't get in with a traditional housing. So this is a Yahoo Pro lens. It changes everything on a GoPro. A GoPro is blurry closer than 40 centimeters. It doesn't have an extraordinary sensor, especially on the sides of the image. And this lens, it changes everything. With a joint, with a fairly long pole extension, which will especially allow you to film the animals from the side. If we're in the branches or to work on low angle shots. Much more efficiently when we're, for example, in very shallow water. We enter the water quickly and travel well, especially with this. There you go, now you know all my secrets there. It's soap.
So it's a mark because it's been in the sea? Hervé has already left, I'm a bit slower. I'm putting on a second layer just to make sure I stay warm because it's still early in the season. Amazing, I've never dived in fresh water. And doing this, it's kind of been a dream for a while. The mask, the fins, and we're off. You could step on a crayfish there. It's okay, Hervé waited for me. Right there, I'm with Hervé. We're going to go underwater. All right, well, we're going to clean up. First, we're not going to leave plastic in the water after all. It's even I'm skunked too.
Wow.
I went down under the trees there. I lowered my head, but the trees above blocked me from getting in. I'm not used to diving in this kind of environment, so it's a bit overwhelming. There are all the algae and everything, you feel really hemmed in. For now, we haven't really seen any fish along the edges, and I'm getting a bit of water in with my mask. It just won't stop. We'll keep trying. Just below me, in about 3 or 4 meters of water, there's an entire car underwater. The car is pretty big. It's quite old, and it can hide catfish. It's too deep. I tried to get closer, to get the camera through, and it's too deep, it's too dark. There might be fish in there, but I can't see them. I'm going to move to the other bank. I'm going to find Hervé. Apparently he saw quite a few black bass. I think so. I just saw a huge bass. It went right in front of me. I think it was 55 cm. Well, with the mask, it's hard to tell, but huge. A monster. That's a spot to remember. I have to admit, this day will stay in my memory for a long time. It was my very first freshwater dive, and even though the conditions didn't allow us to get close to the big catfish like we hoped, I learned a lot from this experience. Observing the fish in their environment, understanding their movements and habits, is a valuable experience before a day of fishing. And to show you what this lake really hides, Hervé allowed me to share some footage he filmed here during his dives. Some pretty exceptional footage, which confirms one thing. The potential of this lake is simply enormous. And I can tell you, it makes me even more eager to be there tomorrow. Here we go, time to start our adventure and explore the lake. I've brought all the gear. I have all the gear to fish for every species. Check this out, it's really crazy. That boat there, Joffrey told me that originally it was all the way over there on the other side of the lake, and it was, well, sunk at the bottom of the lake, several meters deep. That just shows you how massive the flood was. It actually lifted the boat up and stranded it here on the shore. There was water here, but it was above my head. It's incredible. And Hervé was also telling me that originally it was a good spot where there were catfish underneath. You can even see all the cracked mud that has settled. It's pretty crazy. Now I'm going to prepare my float tube. Right here there's a kind of small but pretty deep pond. I want to check if any pikes got stuck here after the flood. They can still move around and some water flows over the trees. But you know, I know there could be a big largemouth bass or a nice pike that got stuck here. Especially at the beginning of the season, these are areas they really like. So, well, I left the lure I had set up. A little chatterbait with a rock vibe trailer. I'll make a few casts, then get my float tube ready. But it's not impossible to come across a fish. It's true that I might come across a catfish, actually. There's a big one, about 5 feet, and another nearly 6.5 feet in the middle. Yeah, because I have 2 meters of line, my whole leader is caught. That's incredible. The water's clear, I'll know pretty quickly. Got it, I'll try for a pike. It's following. What is it? A little perch? A very small European perch?
Excellent, excellent.
There are indeed some fish that got stuck. It's really very small. Thank you. Thanks, really. Yeah, but there's something more interesting back there. Let's go to find the lake's outlet. There you go. I'm very well equipped today. You'll see I have, I brought a lithium battery, a motor, and a lot of rods. I also have a very special device here. I'll tell you about it in a bit. Because, about 42 acres of water with a bit of wind and some depth. Over the course of a day, to find the fish, it's still nice to be able to vary the techniques and to move around quickly enough. Let's go.
Ah!
I'm going to put on the little fins for the catamaran. Appreciation. What a joy to be back on the water. What a joy. And right here I have access to my little dial, 2 meters turbine. If I remember correctly, it's in that direction. Yes. What a joy. And there you have it, 17 hectares to discover. I'll start right here. I'll get straight to the structures where there's the dock and the boats. That always holds fish, and I know I might quickly come across some bass or perch. There are quite a few nice structures. I'm making my way to the docks and wanted to show you this on the way. Right here is a very special transducer. I think it's the first time you're seeing it because it comes from Canada. It has just been imported to France. It's the small transducer, a Kufi, which connects via Wi-Fi, whether it's to a phone or a tablet. And I brought my tablet. All right, I'm going to connect to the app here, a Kufi, there you go. And it's directly connected to a Wi-Fi router that's just behind and plugged into the lithium battery. And now, I have access to the live panoramic view, live front view, live bottom view, downward scan. There you go, I also have duo combinations. Chirp, sonar, live combo, and here's the ice fishing mode I mentioned earlier. And for me, this tool here will help me explore the body of water because the owner said there might potentially be, deeper areas where it rises up with rocks. Structures that date back to the period when it was dug, maybe even with some machines that are still submerged. And what interests me is finding these structures so I can go after, fish that I wouldn't normally be able to catch. And especially, for the end of the video, to go after a big catfish. What's gonna be the live underwater view with the teaser? That might be exceptional. I pretty much always fish from the shore or a float tube without a fish finder. And mainly because it's really expensive. And because I don't really like it anyway. But here, you see, this tool is incredible because for about 700 euros you get access to the latest technologies. There is also a larger model available that can be installed on boats. Now I'm going to look at the first readings. I'm at the dock. All right, first bits of info, what do we have here? There's 7 meters of depth. The water is 20 degrees. So that's actually a good temperature for pike fishing and even for catfish. Here the bottom is pretty flat, so that gives us some initial information. I'm going to start by trying to fish for perch right at the little dock here. I'll start very simply with a small rod and a small crayfish imitation, an Axe Exco. I'm going to try fishing near the docks and structures. That might help me get a bite quickly. I always enjoy fishing for perch in spots like this. But still, there's 7 meters of water. I don't know if the perch will be right here. These are floating docks, not supported by pillars or structures. but it's worth trying. I'll try another mode. I was excited to see this. So this is the live stream before we go live. Here, what we see here in red at the bottom, that's the border that's in front of me. It's long, very red. That's most likely weed beds. And indeed, I see pond weeds coming up there. And that can allow us to see suspended fish or to see if we get any follows. Well, for me, it's not really fishing that interests me, but for everyone who fishes with sharpshooting, pike can be really interesting. And by the way, if you're interested in this little Akufi sonar, you'll find all the information in the description below the video. Okay, I'll switch back to the live view below. For now, the sounder. I'll just use it to check depth and look for obstacles. Not specifically to spot fish like I will for catfish fishing. Oh, you have it. I'll give it a little tap. I'm going to change the lure. I have an idea. Which normally should be pretty good. This one is kind of a safe bet. I'm going to put on a little blue micro jig like this and make big pulls. It'll look like a distressed fry. In general, they're little perch magnets. I'm going to make a few casts with this here. Anyway, at the start of a session like this, you have to try a lot of things. You have to feel things out and try to find the right pattern. All right, I'm going to make a little cast. It was about there that I got the bite. I'm really making small, sharp pulls. Yes, fish. Yes. But it's a beautiful fish. What is it? Yes, it's a beautiful fish. Magnificent. It's a pike? No, it came off. It had grabbed a small black bass. Actually, no. I caught a small black bass and it got caught by a nice pike. About 70 cm long. That's completely crazy. There you go. Clearly, I'm not going to waste any time. I'll take my pike rod. It already has a lure set up. So it's not this one. I have a chatterbait. There's also a rock vibe on the back, so it looks very natural. With the clear water, that should work pretty well. I think I'll stick with this. I'll fish the entire edge with the chatterbait. That's what I saw with Hervé. The fish, they're hiding under the banks, hiding in the roots and in the branches. It may not be easy to get them out, especially since the water is clear. In my opinion, the chatterbait is actually a good option. It was kind of by chance that it was on my rod, but it's going to vibrate well. It can go over the branches. And in my opinion, it can really flush out the predators, especially pike. I'm going to cover the whole length, the entire right bank of the lake like this, looking for pike, maybe bass 2. And then that will bring me to the bottom at the end of the lake where there were those huge dead trees. Those are the largest trees I've seen while diving with Hervé. And it goes down, I think, to 9 or 10 meters. And clearly that's where I'm going to focus with my big rod. I took, well, my teaser rig with Canadian worms to fish for catfish. I want to catch at least one catfish to start with. And I'm going to try to find a big one because, well, apparently there are monsters here. And I'm going to fish with a special technique where I'll use the fish finder, which will be essential. And this tool here, which is called a clonk, I've done it with my friend Tristan, but never alone. As a beginner at catfish fishing with a clonk, it'll likely be quite an experience. Let's go. We're going to find a pike now. Whoa. Was that a bite? Yeah, that might have been a bite, yeah. I wasn't sure at first. Yeah, that was definitely a bite, yeah. Look at that, the bite marks, yeah. There really is a pike, a little pike. Even a bite that's not very strong. Maybe it was small. Yes. Weed beds appear to line all the edges. Look right there at what I got to come out of the bush. All those little red dots you see there, those are perch. I'm gonna try a little micro jig. I took it out earlier. Usually, with some luck, I catch them. Wow, they're following. That's incredible. There you go. Honestly, it's really interesting. Yes, fish, yes. It goes back to a tiny perch, a really tiny little perch.
Toute petite perchette.
There might be bigger ones below. I see them all following. Yeah, fish, yes. I found the right movement there. My big pulls weren't working. And then I drop it right into the middle of the school and I do little twitches like this. Yes, yes, magnificent. That's a nicer one. That's exactly what I saw. For anyone saying leaf sonar doesn't matter in fishing, I promise it does, really. Right now, I'm having fun because I saw how the perch were behaving through the brush. So I can spot the perches, cast exactly as I need to with the jig, see their behavior live, and watch how they interact. That's what allowed me in just 5 minutes to see that there was a huge school of perches, that there were a lot of small perches, that underneath there were bigger ones. And well, without the fish finder, honestly, I would have just kept going and I wouldn't have caught those perches. Yeah, technology is amazing, right? What it can do these days, right? We're going to release these little perches. Oops, one of them got away, by the way. There you go. Beautiful little perch. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to adapt my fishing technique based on my environment, on what I've seen. There are quite a few nice perch that are about the size of my glide bait, which is a perch imitation. I'm going to release it. And the idea is to reproduce what I saw. I saw that there were some nice schools of perch, well, along the edges. And that generally is the food for pike. So the idea is to get as close as possible to what I saw, put on a perch imitation, and then go along the edges and the bushes, hoping that this perch imitation will be a little more enticing than the real ones. For those who know the Grand Edge, I think this is the first time you're seeing this color. Shiny perch right here. This is one of the new 2026 colors that just came out, which I directly, let's say, imagined and designed with the brand Grassroots. It's a small Japanese brand. And really, these are gorgeous colors. There's this perch color. The pike color is beautiful, and I love it. These beautiful colors will make an impact this year, in my opinion, that I'm really going to use. This is great, you know, for a glide bait here. So I'm at a spot that's usually pretty interesting for catfish, but it can also really hold some big pike. There are whole trees that are completely submerged. I'll try working these big trunks with a glide bait, nice and slow. I'll see if I can get a pike to come out. They like to stay like that under the stumps. Come on there. I really want a big pike to appear here. It's not easy, huh? The pike aren't interested, huh? They didn't go for the glide. Fishing is really not easy, huh? Also, it's complicated to find the right spots in just one day. The lake, it's so big, I'm going to change my lure while moving. Switch to a soft lure. I set this up earlier. It's a rock vibe, 5 inches, very natural. It's also a new color that came out this year. And it's rigged Texas style. That means the hook is hidden. And when the fish come, bam, the hook comes out. Except, well, anything like roots, algae, etc., well, it won't get stuck on the hook. It's a rig that really lets you fish through cover. And there's also a little blade, you know, that will spin and also send out flashes of light. And that's really a great combo for this kind of area. All right, I'll slow down and start fishing there. That will allow me to go down a little deeper into the cover and to make contact with it, which I couldn't do with the Grand Edge. With these 2 rig hooks, yes, a nice pike, and behind, yeah. He's right behind. He left again. No, I missed him. Oof, it was a nice pike, around 60, 70. No, I'm so disappointed. Yeah, I have to keep working the edges like that. It wasn't a very big pike, but that one I saw it clearly. Excellent. Look at that. That's the car. That's the car I discovered with Hervé. You can clearly see the hood and roof. You can see the hole in the doors. It's true I saw it around here when I dove in. There, I'm going to try to cast next to it because it can really hide some fish. So it's right in front. Yeah, there, I'm heading down to it. I'm following along. Now I'm on the hood. Laughter. It's really great, we can see it. But there's a fish. Yes, there's a fish. There's a fish above the car. I'll try again. Maybe I made it get out of the car. I'll cast at it one last time. I even changed my technique. I'll use a lure that can get through the obstacles. I'm going to use a jig. There we go. Now I'm placing it in front of the car. I don't see any fish in particular around. All right, I'm going to move over. No fish in this car and none are coming out. The pike. He's going to pick it up. Yeah. He picked it up. It came off. I'm going to try it with a real pike lure because otherwise I'm going to get cut off. He's going to go back under there. Damn. I saw it follow the lure right to my feet. There's a fish there. Hey, a big fish right there in front. Yeah, fish. No. I'm going to take a step back. There are 2, maybe even 3 huge bass. They're monstrous. I'm going to change my approach. I have an idea. Since I have Canadian worms to fish for catfish, well, I'm just going to set up a simple hook and cast a Canadian worm. There you go. A big worm like this one here. Here, the technique is very simple. Right here on the worm, there's a ring that's much tougher. Actually, I'm going to hook it directly there and I'll just drop the worm on the bottom. The worm will move along the bottom and the black bass, in theory, will come and pick it up. There. There. Now I'm going to leave the worm on the bottom. There's one coming up to my worm. It's right next to it. I can't tell if it's going to take it. No, it didn't take. There are several of them around. It's a bit complicated to see them clearly with the polarized lenses. My only way to know if I have a bite is the line that's in the water. If I see it slide away, it means a largemouth bass picked up the braided line. But they're huge. They're, yeah, about this size easily. Now you have to be patient. There's one coming. Oh, there it goes. Yes, yes. I got one. Yes. I'm getting beaten up. Wow. That's a big bass, huh? There, into 10 grams, wow. Get them ready. Yes. He is magnificent. There's a big fish, huh? Seduced by Canadian worm. That made a big difference. We had to wait for the worm to settle. I left it for a few minutes and it was picked up. And there are much bigger ones in the area. This one, I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to release it gently. And I'm going to put the worm back out there because honestly, I think I saw my record. I saw a fish that was at least 55 centimeters. I think I caught the smallest one. Yeah, it's beautiful. Ah. He's so beautiful. He has incredible colors. There you go. The hook is stuck on the side of the pallet. This green base is beautiful. It really feels good. A fish that must be over 45 centimeters long. And there you go. Honestly, I think it's the smallest of the 3 or 4 bass I saw swim right by in front of me. All right, I'm taking it off the hook. All right, go on. Go enjoy your freedom, buddy. Yes. All right, I'm going to go after the ones back there. I saw one. Well, I measured it quickly, just out of curiosity. It's 49. So the ones I saw over there, they're really monsters, you know. They stayed in the area. I'm going to bring up a big Canadian worm. There, that one's really going to wriggle. And I'm going to put it on the bottom. Big black bass like that are often the hardest to catch because they're very wary. There you go.
Il arrive. Il arrive.
Ah. He picked it up. Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. It's huge. No, it came off. No. No. Damn. That one was going over 55. I should have tightened my drag more. I hadn't tightened my drag on the other black bass. All right, I'll put another worm on right away. They're tough to catch, but the worms eventually win them over. Tighten my drag. There's a big one right there. Is that the biggest? No, the biggest one is over there. There's one about 45, 50 that's stationed there. Another one that's 50. Here. Yeah. Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. It's huge. It shouldn't go in the branches. Broken. I had 60. Impossible to handle. It's too big. My rod is too small for this kind of fish. Damn. That's how I am. I doubt I'll get a third chance. I'll try to put the biggest Canadian worm I have in the box. Big Canadian worm that moves well. I let the spot rest. I made a good knot. I'll try a different approach to reach the spot and get it out of the branches. I'm not too bad here. Because my rod is rated for 2 to 10 grams. For fish like these, you'd need more like a 10 to 30 or a 5 to 20. Yes? Yes.
Oui.
Yes. Fish. Yes. This one I can work him. I'm in trouble. Oh. Wow. I'm getting beaten up. Wow, he's big, he's big, he's big. I can't break it. Next, I need to move along the edge. But there, the power they have, it's unbelievable, you know. Well then, at 210 grams, this one is bigger than the first one. Magnificent.
Yes!
Yes, I rarely get to fish for black bass since there are few in Brittany and not many places to fish for them. And here, catching such a big fish, I'm like this. I don't know if you see what I mean. My hand is shaking, I think. It's huge. It's over 50. He got loose in the little pools. No, it did. Got loose in the little pools. It was barely hooked. Yeah, it's a tank. It's a tank, this one. I'm going to measure it right away. Look at that face. Yeah, so I'm sure it was 60, right? It was 60 earlier. Look at that tank. It's huge. That's a big base. Well, there, that one we need to measure it, right? I'll measure it from here, the upper jaw. It's 52.
Deux.
Yeah, that's right, 52. Yeah, we have a nice 52 centimeter base. Getting past 50, that's when it really starts to be a really big base, you know? There you go, I can say I've checked largemouth bass off the list in this quarry. Now I can move on to other species, especially catfish. This beauty really deserves to go back in. Magnificent, it's so beautiful. All right, it's time to get down to business. Here I am at the bottom of the lake. This is where the biggest dead trees are and potentially the biggest catfish. Right now it's 7:25 p.m. I'm going to fish until 9:30 p.m., so until nightfall for catfish. The technique, as I mentioned, is unique. I took my huge rod. So my favorite X1 at 220 grams. It's going to be a little bit too long for this kind of fishing, but it should work. I have a 2-meter leader in Kevlar with a 100-kilo breaking strain. This way, if I get caught in the branches, I can still pull the fish out. And here the idea is to go with this setup underneath directly. And I'm going to have to set up, you know, the teaser with Canadian worms, because the goal of this fishing is actually to go down vertically with this. I'm going to see it here live on the fish finder, and actually it's a kind of octopus with a hook underneath. And the idea is to put a bunch of worms, and the catfish, it will hear the sound of the clonk, which is right here, that I'm actually going to hit on the surface of the water. And the goal is for this sound to catch the catfish's attention, to get it out of the branches so it spots the bunch of worms. And normally, if I do things right, the catfish should come like that. I should see them on the screen and I'll be able to act and slowly lift the teaser so they follow. At first, they'll slowly take the bunch of worms until they take the hook. And then you have to be quick, you need to set the hook hard. It's a type of fishing that's pretty stressful because you see everything live on the screen. It's also frustrating because fish up to 2 meters long can pass by. and they don't care at all. Now I'm going to put on amber glasses. The light is already starting to fade. Anyway, it's in the evening that catfish usually get active. They're active in the morning, late in the evening, and especially at night. Now, what I'm going to do is really attach as many worms as possible to hide the hook and make a good bunch. I'm loading it up now. Now, I really have a huge bunch. He'll sense them with his whiskers and catch them gradually. And he's going to end up taking the hook. Anyway, that's the idea. I position myself right in front of the big dead trees. Normally, my teaser should appear on the screen. There, I can see it here. I'll suspend it mid-water like this. And now it's time for the clonk. That's another story. Because it's important to clonk properly to attract the fish. And often it makes a difference. But I'm really a beginner at this. So yeah, I'm way off the mark here. It should usually make a deeper sound. And the goal is to wait and see if I spot a mass lifting off the bottom. Or even coming out of the branches. I'm trying, yeah, that's not bad. There you go. A fish is moving. I'm not sure if it's a catfish. It's coming up now. It might be gas bubbles too. Yes, yes, there's a catfish. It passed pretty close by. No, that's not a catfish. There. I'm trying to get closer to the branches. There you go. You can see it on the fish finder here. There are the branches. There are trees that continue under the water. I can go down a little bit more. There. Now I'm going to be just above the branches. And then, well, I'm going to keep at it like this until nightfall. I'm going to walk around actually like this among the dead wood, along the trees. What's certain is it's worth persevering here. Come on, we need one to come up now. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, big catfish. He'll come back. Big catfish. Yes, big, big, big. He's underneath. He's coming. He's right underneath. Yeah, he's taking it. Yeah, yes. 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 Magnificent. That's nice. I'm going to get my glove. Subtitles. There you go, yes. Look at that. Oh. It's a small one to start with, probably about 3.5 to 4 feet. No more than that. That's really nice, come on. I take it off and I keep fishing the spot, and then it's hooked right at the front. There you go. Great. Well, I'll be able to release it. Look what he has right here on his tail. We won't be able to see it well here. You can see that he was bitten. So by other catfish. Here too, a monster on the tail. And earlier I saw on the fish finder a fish, yeah, I'd say, not far from twice as big. So there really are monsters on this tree. I'm going to keep trying. And it's incredible to see their behavior. As soon as there's a good hit with the clonk, it makes them react. I see them passing by. And you can see them go vertical. Actually, they first come to identify with their whiskers, right here. It's like a radar. It's pretty impressive. They're really fascinating fish. Okay, I won't mess with it anymore. I'll let it go, then we'll look for something bigger. All right, that's it. The light faded really quickly. The sunset is beautiful. It's purple. However, I have about 30 minutes left to try to catch a catfish. And here, this will be my last spot. I haven't tried that area yet. Some beautiful trees stick out of the water, and I'm going to clonk here until nightfall. There we go, it's really hard. I suspect the beginning of catfish spawning, that's why they might not be feeding, because there were marks. So I think that's potentially the reason. Normally there are a lot of catfish. I should have seen more. I came in too confident, full of hope. I told myself this is an incredible quarry lake with huge catfish. I dived with Hervé, he saw lots of catfish here, and since I embrace fishing, despite everything it's very hard. But that doesn't mean I can't come across a big one at the last minute, because fishing is full of surprises. It's happened to me so many times. I'm motivating myself right now. It's also a matter of timing, and I don't know enough about it. If any of you are more experienced than me in this kind of fishing, feel free to let me know. But I think you shouldn't clonk too much either. You should clonk once or twice, then wait. Maybe I'm not patient enough, so maybe I'm scaring them away too. I'm questioning everything right now. I'll keep going until nightfall. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to let me know directly in the comments. For those who are experts in teaser fishing, feel free to correct my mistakes. Alright, I'm waiting for all the details in the comments. And, well, if you want to keep the fun going with another video, you can click right here in the top right for the channel's latest video. See you soon for new adventures. Come on, I hope you'll come back, big guy.